We're here, the sun is shining at last.
Just.
The weather has been a little bit here, but you're here for the month.
Yes.
You're here looking at your properties, and you're about a week in, so how's it gone so far?
I think it's been good. We've seen, what, four. First one, absolutely marvellous. The other three, they've not been really what we're looking for. But yeah, I'm really hopeful that we're going to find something. And it's been a nice little just driving around all the different places, seeing more of France than we have before. And I'm enjoying it. It's a little road trip, just me and you.
And in terms of your criteria, what are you really looking for? What's your dream?
Definitely somewhere rural. I don't want to be in a town, and that's nothing against, but it's just because that's what we live like now. Not worried too much about work, because we can do that. Definitely really don't want neighbours. I would like for us to still be quite on our own, and just have a little town somewhere that we can go to, and then a city not too far. I know that might be a big ask, but yeah, I think we can do it.
Steve, how have you found the last few days?
It's a big learning curve, Phil. Driving through towns and realising that you're in the twilight zone where nothing's open, and like in the UK you can drive and you can stop and buy snacks or whatever. It's completely different in France. I love it. It's very sleepy. The roads are beautiful. It's a pleasure to drive around, I must admit, and the scenery, driving around the Dordogne, and we've gone into the Charente a few times, and it's stunning. Meeting people, conversing with them, practicing French. It's been great. I mean, like you say, we're only a week in and we're here for a month, so it's a really good start. And like Donna said, the first property we saw, absolutely stunning. So if nothing else, we are very seriously considering that one. But as you know, we're working with Joe from Property Finder France and Alison, and they've been phenomenal. The one thing I would say, even this first week, if we didn't have yourself, Joe, Alison behind us, and David, who we met this morning, without having that team, it would be so much harder, wouldn't it?
It's difficult to kind of do it on your own.
Yeah, to try and...
Unless you're used to doing that kind of stuff, it can be very overwhelming, especially as you've got your own stuff to sell at home. So you guys have been it's just been a godsend.
Putting that team around you is so important. And I think, like, the fact that Joe, even now, we're here now, and she's still sending us through, what about this one, what about this one?
And you feel like you've got support all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
And even if we find one ourselves, so we've been looking at a few, and I send it to Jo, and I say, well, what about this one? And she's like, well, let me get back to you. And then she'll go off and she'll say, oh, this one's under compromise, so we can't do that one, but we're going to look at it. It's brilliant, because imagine me or Donna with our limited French trying to phone up an estate agent trying to book. No, it just wouldn't work. So so it is a great start, really good start so far.
And a question to you both, really, you can both take turns in answering it. As you said, you're not just dealing with English-speaking agents; you're actually dealing with some French agents, which is not always that common. A lot of English speakers will just go with English-speaking agents.
Yeah.
So, how is your French coming along?
Mine not. So I just rely on Steve. But I think personally, because I'm not someone that can look at a book. I'm not built that way. When I lived in Cyprus, I picked up the language by just going and talking to people, and I think that's what will happen here. Just being immersed in it, I'll hear things and I'll learn that way rather than just looking at a textbook.
Yeah, I mean, my French is very limited, Phil, as you know, but I'm learning and having those conversations. The one thing I will say is every single French person, bar none, have been super helpful. Yeah. So we've joined a gym. It's in Muzidan, about 15 minutes from here. We joined the gym for the whole month, and nobody in that gym speaks English, not a one word of English.
But they all speak to us.
But they hello, how are you doing, bonjour, and all that kind of stuff. And we managed to, with my broken French, arrange a month's membership. We bought some protein powder, and then it got to the point where we did use a translator. Google Translate and other translators are available. We use that because it was just easier to do that, wasn't it? But yeah. I think, honestly, when we get here, we're going to pick it up really quickly. I think, like Donna said...
And everybody's helpful.
Yeah.
They're happy to tell you where you're going wrong, aren't they?
Yeah. They slap you around the face. But yeah, so like I say, I've got a French tutor called Nikki, and she's amazing. We do 1 hour a week, and I'm doing the Duolingo kind of stuff. But yeah, I think Donna's absolutely right. Immersion when we get here, and repetition, I think that it will come for sure.
Yeah.
Donna, for you, you're coming, you're very, very clear on what you want to do, and I know you're talking to other experts in terms of how you're going to be setting up, you know, your dog boarding and also the grooming, etc. How feasible do you think it's all going to be to get this all together in the first year?
It's not going to be easy. We're going to have to be out there, maybe going to local places, letting everybody know where we are, advertising a lot, you know, and always word of mouth is the best one ever. But we're confident that we'll get there. I mean, like when we started our other business, like our business now, 17 years ago, that wasn't brilliant, you know, wasn't brilliant to start with. It took us a good year to build it up, and, you know, and then once everybody starts talking about you because you're giving a good service, then before you know it, you just can't keep up with it.
It's like we said in the UK, we under promise and over deliver every single time. And we had the conversation with the two agents earlier on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A property we're looking at, and we were saying if you provide a service and you provide it well and you beat expectations, that'll speed up your reputation a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But it's going to work. It's going to work. There's no failure. That's not an option.
Do you also think now you're here in France and you're looking around, do you think your parameters have changed a little bit where you're going to be? Have they moved outwards a little bit, or anything changed in that way?
For sure. So originally let's break it down quite small because I could talk for a long time about this. We originally looked at Toulouse, Carcassonne, Narbonne, Giresun, down that way. We realised that in the summer it's going to be way too hot for us when we're in our 70s and 80s, because like you say, when we do this, there's no going back. It's a one-way ticket. Too hot. So then we said, well, let's come back up to the Dordogne. Let's look at Bergerac, Imay, and see what it's like round there. That's about right. That's perfect for us. It's about 30, 35. We're okay with that. But now we've got here and we're looking at the properties around, we've kind of found what we call our little golden triangle. So now we've gone up to Angoulême, across to Périgueux, down to Imay. So there's a triangle there, and maybe a little bit into the Gironde towards Bordeaux, but that's the triangle, and I think we've had to expand it, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think also once on paper you can look at it and decide all that, but when you actually get here,
yeah,
that's a different story altogether, and then you start thinking, well, no, actually we could push it that way a bit.
And driving
Yeah,
the routes and seeing
definitely.
the towns and going through and experiencing it, and of course speaking to yourself about the pockets of expat. Listen, we want to move to France because we want to experience the French culture, the French people, of course the French food, but we do need those expats. We do need those English speaking people. One, because we're dealing in dogs, which is you know, most expats that have dogs, they're part of the family, and that's not to say that the French aren't, but we know that the French aren't as serious about their dogs as the English, so we have to think about
we're told.
Also we're
Yeah.
told, but like you say, there's so much to think about, there really is, and that's why we've said let's go a little bit easier on the boundaries, and we know that going a little bit further north is going to be slightly cooler in the summer, but it's going to be better than the UK, mate.
And Donna, in terms of the area you're looking as well, I mean, for you though, the communication routes are still important to be able to get to the UK?
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially for family, you know, that want to come out and visit, that's always a good thing, isn't it? But
I think we set the thing that we'd like, but an hour to an hour and a half from an international airport, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And again, where we're looking at in that little golden triangle, you've got Bordeaux, you've got Bergerac, you've got Limoges. So actually, we've got the best of all worlds. If we're just above there, which is one of the properties we found is pretty bang on there, yeah, that ticks the boxes as well, doesn't it?
yeah, definitely. And then they can always drive.
And they can always drive. That's what we said as well. The further north we go, the less they've got to drive. So they'll thank us for that one day, won't they?
Yeah.
And in terms of, you know, early on, you're into your month over here in France, so you're there. You're going to see more properties over the coming days, probably the coming weeks, and then after sort of the first couple of weeks, what's the plan then?
Sunbathe, if the sun comes out.
I think just go home and put everything in motion, really.
You mean while we're still here, or
while you're still here?
Yeah.
You know? So for me, I get the feeling you've sort of got 10 days to 2 weeks of looking,
Yeah.
and then you start to narrow it down, and probably second viewings and that. So I just want to know more about that.
Yeah,
absolutely?
second viewings would be good. And maybe explore a little bit more of the areas when we're not house hunting.
Yeah.
And make sure that, go and speak to local people and see what's going on, find out about what goes on in the community, because we'd like to be part of that, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. Well, we met that lovely lady Christine this morning at Serendipity B&B in May. Lovely lady. We've already arranged. We're going to go back, spend the day in that area, have a look around. We've been there before. We fell in love with the place before. So it's great to now know somebody that we can go back and have a chat with. We've also connected with some people on the Expat groups on Facebook. That's a brilliant way to connect to people. So we're going to Bergerac tomorrow to an English-speaking meetup in the Columbus Cafe.
Yeah, that's right.
In Bergerac. So we're going to go and just... You might have noticed I'm not shy about just approaching people and starting to talk. So we're going to go and do that. And you're absolutely bang on. What we planned was we arrived on the 28th. The first viewing was on the 30th. Sorry, the 1st. And we said we'll do the 1st to the 14th viewing houses, and then from the 15th to the 20th, that gives us 5 days to then revisit and second view, so that when we go home on the 21st, we've got every bit of information that we could need.
Yeah.
And if we do have that information before then yeah, it's just we'll have a bit of a holiday.
If you find your dream property when you're here
Yeah.
for this month,
Yeah.
will you make an offer?
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yes, because I'm adamant we're going home and we're packing up.
yeah, we do have to be a little bit careful because we've got a business at home. So
Yeah.
we have, our customers or our clients, whichever, and they're our friends as well. We got some of
Well,
these.
especially after 17
Yeah,
years.
we've got some very strong relationships, and we need to make sure that when we go back, we give these people the respect and the loyalty that they've given us. So we can't just go back and say, right, we're going, that's it. We're going to give them at least 3 to 6 months. But as you know, by the time you've signed the compromise and you go through the contract and everything, it's a 3 month process anyway.
But the good thing is the people that are buying our house want to carry on the business.
That's
So
the good thing, yeah.
We're hoping to get the people that are buying it to come and work with us for a while, introduce them to the customers. So there's that nice little changeover.
Yeah.
So they get not going to miss us and they get used to the new owners and everything stays the same.
Yeah. That would be the perfect option, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
One final one then.
There's a glint in his eye there on this final one.
How excited or how anxious are you about these coming days and weeks?
You go first.
I'm really excited because I honestly think when we go home we'll find the house. I've got it in there. I've got the good feeling about it. So I think when we go home we'll know where we're doing, where we're going, what we're doing.
Donna has found 2 4-leaf clovers since we've been here. She's seen 2 deer.
I'm very supernatural.
At
Superstitious.
one of the properties, she saw 2 deer. There's signs. There's so many signs. The universe is showing us this is right. We went to a property earlier. We left and we were like, oh, that's quite nice actually. And we went over a massive bump in the road, and it was like, the universe is saying that's not the one. And we do believe in stuff like that, don't we? And also as well, one of the properties we've seen, Donna's already saying, so I think we could do this. And she's doing what we did when we bought our last property and already planning. So the excitement, you can probably tell, is through the roof. It's more exciting for me listening to Donna and the things that she's saying, and I'm thinking, yeah, she's really getting into this. The anxiety still for me. We've got to have a business here. We've got to find clients. We've got to have, it would be lovely to say we're going to go home, hand over the business, know that that's taken care of, come over here and not retire because
we're not ready to retire.
No.
We're doers.
We
to be
do
doing stuff.
have to have a business, and it's got to be right, and it's got to work first time. So that's my only anxiety. The rest of it, I can't wait. I literally can't wait. Can you?
No, I can't. Yeah, I just want to be living over here.